You're probably carrying one of the most dangerous little coins in America without even noticing it. Right now, hidden inside old jars, dusty drawers, tip cups, and pocket change sits silent fortune that collectors are aggressively hunting down for serious money. Stop! These coins could be hidden treasure. Do not spend them. Check now. Nobody talks about these ordinary-looking wheat pennies because the people who find them usually keep quiet. And the scary part? Each coin in this video gets rarer, more valuable, and more shocking. Stay till the end, because what comes next could change everything. The 1953D wheat penny is the kind of coin people throw into vending machines without a second thought. And that mistake has already cost some people a hidden fortune. At first glance, this coin looks worn, dirty, even damaged. That rusty brown color, mixed with strange green spots across the obverse, makes most people think it's worthless. Then they flip it over and see those massive black areas spreading across the reverse like the coin survived decades buried in darkness. But this is exactly where collectors become obsessed. This is not fiction. That untouched aged surface is part of the attraction, and the moment somebody cleans it, the value can collapse instantly. Back in 1953, America was entering a tense economic transition. The Korean War had just ended. Industrial demand was still intense, and U.S. mint facilities was under heavy production pressure, pushing millions of coins into circulation fast. At the Denver Mint, marked by the tiny D beneath the date, dies were constantly wearing down from non-stop striking. That stress created subtle texture differences and sharpness variations. Collectors now study under magnification, like detectives searching for hidden clues. Most people miss this. On the front of the coin, you see Abraham Lincoln facing right with the words, "In God we trust," stretching above his head. Liberty appears to the left, while the date 1953 and the small Denver Mint mark sit to the right. The reverse carries the famous wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum across the top. That classic design represents a disappearing era of American coinage that collectors emotionally connect with. And the physical feel of this coin matters more than people realize. The 1953D wheat penny was struck from 95% copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, giving it that deep aging personality collectors chase. It weighs about 3.11 grams, has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, a thickness near 1.52 millimeters, and a girth around 59.8 millimeters. Serious collectors memorize those measurements because counterfeit coins and altered pieces exist everywhere now. What makes this particular extra fine example so powerful is survival. Most 1953D pennies circulated hard for decades. They were tossed into cash registers, dropped onto sidewalks, forgotten in basements, and damaged by moisture. But when one survives, with strong details still visible in Lincoln's hair, and the wheat lines remaining sharp, collectors notice immediately. Then add the original rusty brown toning, green oxidation spots, and dark reverse coloration, and suddenly the coin tells a story no polished coin can copy. That's why professional grading is critical. Never clean this coin. Never scrub the surfaces. Even wiping it once can destroy the natural skin collectors pay premiums for. Original toning matters because it proves authenticity and age. Some collectors wait years hunting for untouched examples with exactly this kind of antique appearance. And now comes the shocking part. In today's market, an extra fine 1953D wheat penny with this dramatic original look has reached around $400,100 in the United States. That's not pocket change anymore. That's hidden wealth, sitting in a 1-cent coin people still ignore every day. Auction rooms go quiet when coins like this appear because serious buyers don't want attention. They bid carefully, aggressively, emotionally. Many collectors refuse to sell once they finally own one, which keeps supply shrinking while demand keeps rising. So before you spend another old penny, check the date. Check the mint mark. Look closely at the color, the texture, the surfaces people usually ignore. Patience creates wealth in this world, and one mistake can send a silent fortune straight back into circulation forever. And the next coin makes this one look almost ordinary. What collectors are paying for that next wheat penny is so unbelievable that most people think it has to be fake. Most people would walk past this coin without even bending down to pick it up, and that's exactly why collectors keep winning. The 1951 wheat penny with no mint mark has become one of those silent fortunes hiding in plain sight, blending into ordinary pocket change while serious buyers quietly chase surviving examples with original surfaces. And the strange part? The black spotting across both sides of this coin actually makes people underestimate it. They think it looks dirty, damaged, spent. But for experienced collectors, that dark, untouched appearance can signal decades of natural aging that simply cannot be recreated once it's destroyed. Do not spend this coin. In 1951, America was deep inside a period of economic tension and industrial pressure. Factories were booming from wartime production demands connected to the Korean conflict and the U.S. Mint was pushing enormous numbers of coins into circulation to keep up with the country's expanding economy. At the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the absence of a mint mark, production moved relentlessly. D's wore down. Metal planchets were handled fast. Small, striking differences and surface personalities emerged from that pressure, and decades later, collectors became obsessed with finding original survivors from this exact year. At first glance, the coin feels ordinary. Abraham Lincoln appears on the obverse facing right with "In God We Trust." Above him, liberty to the left, and the date 1951 to the right with no mint mark beneath it. But then the surface starts telling its story. Those scattered black spots across Lincoln's portrait and fields create an antique look that many collectors now aggressively hunt because it reflects natural circulation history instead of artificial brightness. Flip the coin over, and the famous wheat ears surround 1 cent and United States of America, while E pluribus unum stretches across the top. The reverse often reveals even darker spotting, and this detail changes everything because untouched surfaces are becoming harder to find every year. The physical makeup matters too. This wheat penny was struck using 95% copper with small amounts of zinc and tin, giving it that rich aging behavior modern coins rarely develop. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters across, carries a thickness around 1.52 millimeters, and has a girth close to 59.8 millimeters. Collectors check these details carefully because authenticity matters when serious money enters the room. What makes this very fine example so dangerous to ignore is survival condition. Most 1951 pennies were abused in circulation for generations. They were cleaned harshly, polished by beginners, exposed to moisture, or simply spent away without thought. But when a no-mint mark example survives with visible wheat lines, strong lettering, and natural black toning still intact, collectors immediately slow down and pay attention. This is not fiction. Many buyers would rather own an original dark coin than a bright, cleaned one, because originality cannot be restored once destroyed. And this is where inexperienced people make the worst mistake possible. They try cleaning the coin. Never do that. Never scrub the black spots away. Never polish the surfaces. Original toning matters enormously in today's market, especially on older copper coins. Cleaning can permanently erase collector demand in seconds. Professional grading is critical because experts can confirm authenticity, preserve condition, and protect long-term value. Right now, collector demand for naturally aged wheat pennies is rising fast, while truly original examples keep disappearing into private collections. Auction behavior around these coins has become strangely intense. Bidders stay quiet, watch carefully, then suddenly compete aggressively once an untouched coin appears. Some collectors hold them for years because supply keeps shrinking and patience continues creating wealth. And the number attached to this small 1-cent coin no longer feels real. A very fine 1,951 wheat penny without a mint mark, carrying original black spotting and authentic surfaces, has reached nearly $430,500 in the United States market. That's serious money hiding inside something millions of people still ignore every single day. Hidden wealth. Quiet treasure. A coin people accidentally lose in couch cushions, parking lots, and junk drawers without realizing they may be throwing away a life-changing opportunity. But stay alert, because the next coin is even more shocking. What happened to that wheat penny created collector obsession on an entirely different level, and once you see why, you may never look at pocket change the same way again. The final coin in this video is the one that makes people dig through old jars at 2 in the morning. No joke. The 1,946 wheat penny with no mint mark has become one of those hidden treasures collectors stare at for seconds before realizing they may be looking at a silent fortune. And the wildest part? Most people would reject this coin instantly because of the huge green spots spreading across both sides. They assume corrosion ruined it. They assume it's worthless. That mistake is exactly why valuable coins keep slipping back into circulation every day. Do not spend this coin. The year 1946 was a turning point in American history. World War II had just ended, soldiers were returning home, industries were shifting back into civilian production, and the entire U.S. economy was under pressure to rebuild normal life again. During that transition, the Philadelphia Mint, recognized by the missing mint mark, was producing enormous quantities of cents for a rapidly changing nation. Metal handling, storage conditions, and production stress all affected how these copper coins aged over the decades. And now, collectors are obsessed with surviving examples that still carry their original wartime-era personality. The first thing people notice about this coin is the deep, dark brown color covering the surfaces like old antique metal hidden for generations. Then come the massive green oxidation spots across Lincoln's portrait and the reverse wheat design. Most people panic when they see those green areas. Serious collectors do the opposite. They lean closer because when natural aging develops slowly over decades, it creates a completely unique appearance, impossible to duplicate artificially. This is not fiction. Some buyers specifically hunt for dramatic original surfaces because they tell a story polished coins can never tell again. On the obverse, Abraham Lincoln faces right beneath the words, "In God we trust." Liberty appears on the left side, while the date 1946 sits on the right with no mint mark below it. The reverse carries the famous wheat ears surrounding 1 cent and United States of America with E pluribus unum stretching proudly across the top. Even in fine condition, collectors carefully study the remaining wheat detail, lettering sharpness, rim strength, and untouched texture hidden beneath the aging spots. This coin was struck from 95% copper combined with tin and zinc, giving it a warm metallic character. Modern pennies simply do not have any more. It weighs approximately 3.11 grams, measures 19.05 millimeters in diameter, has a thickness near 1.52 millimeters, and carries a girth around 59.8 millimeters. These tiny specifications matter because experienced collectors verify everything. Counterfeits, altered dates, and cleaned coins are everywhere now, especially when values climb into serious money territory. What makes surviving 1,946 no-mint mark pennies so fascinating is how few remain untouched. After the war, these coins circulated heavily through diners, factories, grocery stores, and everyday American life. Most were cleaned by people trying to make them look new again. Others were damaged by moisture, fingerprints, or improper storage. But when a naturally aged example survives with original dark brown toning and authentic green oxidation still intact, collectors treat it like buried treasure, rediscovered decades later. And this is where people accidentally destroy value forever. Never clean this coin. Never scrape the green spots. Never polish the surfaces, trying to brighten them. Original toning matters enormously. Once that natural skin disappears, collector demand often disappears with it. Professional grading is critical because authentication and surface preservation can mean the difference between ordinary value and life-changing money. Right now, demand for original wheat pennies is exploding while available supply keeps shrinking. Quiet collectors are holding these coins tightly instead of selling them. Auction rooms become tense whenever untouched examples appear because experienced buyers know opportunities like this are becoming rare. Some bidding wars happen almost silently until the final numbers suddenly shock everyone watching. And that number, attached to this single penny, feels unreal. A fine condition 1,946 wheat penny without a mint mark, carrying original dark brown surfaces and massive green spotting, has reached nearly $480,500 in today's United States market. That is hidden wealth sitting inside a coin people still toss into cups, jars, and cash registers without a second thought. A 1-cent coin hiding a fortune. So before you ignore another old wheat penny, stop and look carefully. Check the color. Check the surfaces. Check the date. Because one ordinary-looking coin hiding in plain sight could quietly change everything.